Hello everyone, Nitro Productions here, and today I'll be reviewing the Transformers Studio Series, Dark of the Moon, Soundwave, and what a nice car mode, if I have to say so myself. Now, this is the Dark of the Moon version, which this figure really needed a modern day release. Our only versions were the Human Alliance version, and that deluxe version that had an awful, selling in America. It was only really in Japan. But now we have our deluxe version, and was it worth the wait? Well, I would say yes. Initially, I wasn't that excited for this figure, but having it in hand and having it for a little while, I am very happy with it. Now, there isn't much to say about the vehicle mode. It rolls alright. You could see a little bit of the transformation, and it has some kibble, but honestly, what do you expect from Transformers these days? Now, this figure does have two accessories. It does come with a backdrop, which does show the Africa scene from the Dark of the Moon movie, where Megatron is just smoking weed or whatever, and then you got this disgusting bird that is supposed to be the Dark of the Moon Laserbeak, but honestly, this is an ugly looking bird and not really well painted. I mean, I feed birds in my backyard and I wouldn't feed this thing. Oh god, ah!
Stop! No! No! Stop! Stop! I don't want bird poop on me! No! No! Stop! Stop! No! 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 I'm thinking of pooping on me! No! God! God! Oh god! I hate bird poop! Oh god! God! I think some got in my mouth! Oh god!
But yeah, this Laserbeak isn't that good, but it's nice to know that it kind of has storage on Soundwave. As you can see, Soundwave has a peg on the top of the car mode, which, if you flip Laserbeak's legs, you could store on top of it, and I guess that's fine. I don't know. It would have been nice if this came with a weapon, maybe the gun that he used to kill Q, or he used to fight Bumblebee, but honestly, screw Laserbeak. This vehicle mode is fine. Not really much to it, so yeah. So let us go to the robot mode. I know that transformation seemed a little complicated. Oops. Wait, I gotta turn this guy back on the car mode. Give me 1 second. Now, bringing this back into this vehicle mode, I want to do a quick comparison with the original movie The Best Soundwave. It is the repaint of the Human Alliance one. So yeah, this was my first figure that was like the most expensive thing I had at the time. And I think both of these look really nice together. You can definitely see the influence in car mode since they're the same. I do prefer the black windows and black darker lights. And of course, it would have been nice if, you know, this smaller car could have done this. But it makes sense since this is a smaller deluxe class figure and this was closer to a Voyager class with a lot more detail in it. So yeah. Both of these car modes look nice, and I will show how this figure looks in the robot mode, but let's bring this figure back to the robot mode real quick. Now back to the robot mode. Now this is a very accurate looking robot mode, and it turned out very well. Now, my figure, it has a little bit of a looseness problem, but honestly, I could get over that. I feel like the look of this figure really makes up for that. And what a look this guy has. Now, some issues I do have with the figure have to do with the paint that they used. Now, I am not a fan of the silver paint. I do think it looks nice. I'm not saying that they should have gone with a dull gray plastic paint, but I don't like playing with figures like Jazz or Sideswipe that are made with this silver paint, because I'm just afraid of chipping and transforming it. Doing that just like scares me, and you shouldn't have to feel scared when playing with your figures. Like, before a review, I like to test out figures and see how well I could play with them and transform them. That's why the transformation was longer and I had to speed it up more. So, yeah. Because this figure has chrome plastic all over him, I have to be very careful and not chip anything. So, yeah. That kind of sucks, but honestly, I could get over that. Because this figure in robot mode looks nice. I'm not really going to be transforming him often. Now you can put Laserbeak on his arm, and that looks rather nice. It's the only other place he could go from what I know. Like I said, I kind of wish he came with a gun. Like I mentioned in my Optimus Prime review, you could give Soundwave his gun, just because this figure doesn't have a gun and can't even fit in his hand. Oh boy, I did not know that going into this. Alright, so Soundwave can't hold a weapon. That's actually very annoying. But now let's go into what I didn't like about this figure at first. Let's go to that head sculpt. Now, this head sculpt is painted like he has food all over his mouth. As if, like, you know, he's eating, like, spaghetti and then you have dirt and, like, grossness all over your face. His face should all be just painted that silver, and maybe the inner mouth just be painted that. I mean, it still looks good, but, you know, it's still weird. And I was never a huge fan of this design for Soundwave. I don't think any of us were. I think the Satellite was a much better design, and I'm excited for that figure to come out. But yeah, now for some comparisons that I'd like to show. Here is the Human Alliance version, and this is the Movie the Best version. So as we could see, this figure is bigger and is harder to stand. I'll pick that up in a second. Let me just... Okay, there. Here we have the Movie the Best version, and it does have a better head sculpt. I will say it is painted better. I prefer the mouth design, and it could even open, like, rah, 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 rah. So yeah, I do think the head sculpt is a lot nicer than what we got here, but the robot mode, oh my god, is so much better. These gorilla arms and these tiny legs have been replaced with a fully nice body, and it's really nice having a good version of this Dark of the Moon Soundwave design, because I gotta be honest, I do like the design, but not for Soundwave, like I said. But yeah, this is a very good design, and Laserbeak, like I mentioned, is tiny and kind of useless. I wish they could have had some kind of posability that isn't the legs, kind of like how Igor has arms that have ball joints. But yeah, very good figures, but mostly for Soundwave. So let's go to the size comparisons. For size comparisons, here is Soundwave with Igor, Blitzwing, Dropkick, Starscream, and Blackout. And for some extras of Dark of the Moon, let's bring in Dark of the Moon Megatron. And I will have Sentinel Prime eventually, and that Bumblebee in that scene. But with Megatron, he looks very nice. So yeah, that's kind of it for Soundwave. It's a very good figure, and I highly recommend him. And if you really want him, you could pick him up at the Big Bad Toy Store, which you can't buy him solo, but you could buy him with the rest of his wave, which a lot of those figures are good, most of them. So I say pick them up, and I'll eventually review those figures as well. Link in the description for that. But as for Soundwave, do I recommend him? Yes. I can't say that Satellite Soundwave is good or bad. I don't have him in person, and it doesn't look like he's going to be in this nice silver chrome, but hopefully it is still a good figure. We'll see. But I highly recommend this figure if you want to complete your Dark of the Moon collection. We are only missing a couple more figures, and it'll be nice to see what they do next with Dark of the Moon. Can't wait for those records. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye, guys.